Good morning. JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. Thursday, October 17, 2024, 8:55 on this fine morning. Talk really quick about the market. Some names I'm looking at, go from there, but take a look at the futures. Point to the upside. You have NASDAQ futures up nearly 1% here. Um, you have TSM earnings overnight, Taiwan Semiconductor bested estimates by a substantial amount, kind of alleviating concerns that not Lam Research, ASML had caused 2 days ago when their earnings leaked and caused a big sell-off in the semi. So pretty much more than negating that negative impact. And you can see names NVIDIA, the AMD, Intel, and then some of the other names like Dell are all rallying in tandem. And then the NASDAQ, which hasn't hit all-time highs since the summer, looks like it's knocking on the doors of breaking that all-time high. So should be interesting here today. This morning we got retail sales numbers and weekly jobless claims. The weekly jobless claim data came right in line, hit the nail on the head right there, flat as a pancake. But then the retail sales numbers came in much stronger than expected. So the R word, which was floated around for so long over the last year and a half, 2 years, it keeps getting pushed further and further to the horizon, right? Further out there. A nice little stat, and I don't know if it was someone posted it on FinTwit, but it shows the market's performance in election years. So pretty much starting at October 18th or around since 1928, every election year, the markets have rallied on median 7.8% from now to the end of the year. So I always like to look at historical stuff. Doesn't mean it's a guarantee that we're going to have that type of gain, but kind of adds some substance to the election year. And I think some of it is because you have uncertainty, especially if there's a wide margin, very close margin between the candidates where there's some uncertainty. And then once the election comes, that kind of removes uncertainty. And the market doesn't like uncertainty, right? So anyway, watching today, 585 or so on the SPY, which is where we are right now. Looks like possible resistance. We'll see if we chop around here. And then 578 if things get dicey. I don't know if they're going to get that dicey and that dicey today. But certainly, I mean, with markets at highs, one day we're going to have some kind of pull for no reason, no cattle, similar to what we had on Tuesday. And we had, I think we had it last week. There was the pull and then a reversal. I think it was last Monday, especially with the VIX, which the VIX finally back under 20. So hopefully that remains. All right, so that's that. Small caps, I mean, they're up. I think over the last 4 sessions, they're up 4%, and broke finally IWM over that 225 handle that it was trading over back in July and August before the big pull. Great sign here. If small caps can lead the charge into the end of the year, I think that'll be a very good thing. So hopefully that trend continues. IWM's right here at 227. Struggled at 227 yesterday, so hopefully it can break through that and then off to the races. All right, so that's it. Overall market. So individual names. So Lam Research, it was down. It was actually trading higher in the pre-market yesterday, chopped around at the open, and then just melted. And then it was down at 75 and change. And it seemed like it was stubborn there. And with only a couple days to expiration, and we've had some big bounces in some of these names that have sold off over the last couple months. I didn't want to see the last of my puts lose value, so I took the last of my profits for nearly 300%. Sure enough, what happens? It breaks 75 and closes at 74.14. But then this morning you see all these names rallying on this TSM news. So earnings. So thankful to close those out. It's still a name that I'll continue to look for opportunities as a hedge if markets break support and we do get some weakness, but thankful to have locked the last of those in. So that's Lam Research. Clear Secure, what else to say on this one? I think it was for the last couple of weeks, I kept saying it was going to break 34. Once it goes 34, 36 comes quick. Sure enough, it happened in 2 sessions. It was up 5% yesterday, closed over 37. Got an upgrade this morning, not a actual rating upgrade, but a price target upgrade from Needham. They took their price target up to 45 from 40. So I don't know if that's the high of everybody, but certainly is a good thing. So see if it puts the wind in the sails again. I locked the last of my October strikes in for close to 300%. I locked some in at 100 and then, or a little more than 100, and then 300%, just because they expire on Friday and they were nowhere in the money 2 weeks ago. So lucky to close those out. And then I was looking to get November strikes, but the November 39s and 40s and 41s, the premiums are pretty elevated. And then you can go out to January, go a little further, buy more time, and the premiums look a little more attractive. So I went and got the January strikes. I think it might trade up near $40 in the coming days. So once that happens, I'll look to close some of the Januaries to cover costs. And you take a look at the trends on Clear Secure, it seems like it consolidates, then it ramps, then it consolidates again. It did that back in September into October, and then it ramps, and we'll probably have some consolidation at some point. Hopefully, it goes to 41st before that happens, where I can lock some in. SE is gapping here this morning. It sold off with Asia on Tuesday, recouped some of those gains yesterday. It's gapping higher again today. If it gets over 102, I'll look to get November strikes. A similar setup to Clear Secure, right? Ramped up in August, consolidated into September, ramped again into October, and it looks like it's consolidated again, and it's ready for the next leg, which I think takes to the 110 or so. That's SE. Roku, how disappointing. It seems like every time it looks like it's ready to break out, the market just does what it does. It just frustrates you. And yesterday, no different with Roku. Broke out right out of the gate, broke that 79.65 handle that was resistance back in September, all the way up to 80.70 in a flash. And I thought, this is it. It's going to really start to gain some steam. And then boom, it goes down to 78 in a matter of like 3 minutes. And then it trades down to 76 and chops around there for the most of the rest of the day until last end of session rally to the upside. Still love this name. You have Netflix earnings after the close today, so hopefully, I'm sure they're going to report a decent quarter. I'll talk about Netflix in a second, but I'll be watching. If it breaks over 80 here today, maybe later in the day, I'll look to get some strikes either to next week or into November. So they announced their earnings date. I think it's October 30th, which is 2 weeks from yesterday, so 13 days from now. I have to think they're going to finally, this will be the quarter that when they post good results, the market actually appreciates them as opposed to selling them off. So that's that. Speaking of Netflix, 6.9% implied move right now. If you start looking, the last 2 quarters, the October, when they reported their third quarter, which is in October, last year it rallied 16% after the report. And the year before that, it rallied 13%. Let's see what it did the year before that. Do I have it here? Oh, well, the year before that, it dropped 2%. So I guess the last 2 quarters. So 2 of the last 3 have been double-digit gains. So if you're looking at a historical basis and then taking a look at the implied move right now with the option market, you say, wow, it's another 13 to 14% move. Either direction, the calls or puts are going to pay. I'm not going to trade it here. I actually think they report a great quarter. I want to hear about the ad business, how that's going and all that. And so you see it sold off the last 4 sessions from 730. So maybe some opportunity, held $700. I'll kind of stay away. It used to be one of my favorite earnings trades back in the day. I made some monster ones back 2012, 2013, long time ago. Now it's a more mature company. So tends not to be as volatile, but we'll have to see how it is after the close here today. That's Netflix. Dell, TSM earnings helping push, a rising tide raises all ships, and Dell's one of those ships on board. So 135 or so looks like the next spot. I had the calls into the week, closed them out just for some profits, just because I didn't like how I was looking at that 130 handle. Thankful for that. Probably revisit today if it holds 130. Redfin disappointing with the small caps rallying again, 4 days in a row to the upside 4%, and for some reason Redfin just can't get a hold of itself. Tomorrow there's I think it's new home sales data or housing starts. One of those, another housing report. So maybe that's the catalyst that could push the stock. Once it maybe 12 or so, once it starts to break that, I'll look for some more strike stuff. The Januaries, I haven't talked about Corbis CRBP in quite some time. It's been churning around 18, 19, but back-to-back green sessions. It almost looks like it's ready to start to melt to the upside. And, it has that huge gap fill in the 50s. I'm not saying it's going to get there, but they had positive data yesterday. I have to go look at exactly, I think, or maybe there was an update to their cohort, their study, and how many folks can be part of the study. But once it breaks 20, it's got that huge short interest. It still has the backdrop of other, it's other drugs, which I don't think should have caught, the CB1 data from, who was it from? Merck? I forget. Shouldn't have hit the stock as much. So don't be surprised if I add more strikes to that on some strength. Wind got another upgrade this morning. I think was it Barclays? Who was it? I have to go look. But they took their price target to 122 ahead into earnings. At some point, I'll look for some more strikes, probably either today or tomorrow. Asian market sold off again overnight, so who knows where that goes. And then last but not least, here's Biogen. Unfortunately, just couldn't find footing yesterday, closed down 1%. Just going to take a little kick, and then that thing's going to be over $200. I think that's about a clear. Roku, Netflix, SE. Yeah, I think that's it, folks. Let's have a great day. I'll be back on audio later. Rock and roll.